2011, there's going to be a lot of chaos. There's going to be a lot of destructuring taking place in the world. You're reading about it in the papers already. Caldra asked me to address this issue. You have birds dropping out of the sky, fish dying in the water, and it's going to continue to happen. It's going to continue to happen. Tobias spoke about it many, many years ago when he said that there are a lot of species that are going to leave the Earth. There's going to be some concern that it's global warming or an alien plot or things like this. There's going to be a lot of conspiracy theories going around about this. Caldra asked me to address it. What's happening? Well, there are species that have been on the Earth for eons of time that have been part of the energy of Gaia. They have been serving a purpose, keeping an energy balance. Their time is up. They're not choosing to be here. And more importantly, they're making room for new species. So what's happening? There are new energies coming in from the other realms, not just from outer space, but from the other realms. These are literal new energies. Nothing like the vibrational energies that you've experienced in the past. So it's not just a bigger volume of old energy, they're brand new energies. They come in literally on light frequencies, but in a spectrum that you can't necessarily see with your physical eyes for the most part. But I've been talking now for quite a while saying that you are going to start seeing lights in the sky, both day and night, lights that show up. These aren't going to be like alien spacecraft lights. They're not going to be little objects moving around the sky, but they will illuminate the sky. There's been some examples of them already, and this isn't the northern lights. These are going to look different. When these new energies come in, essentially reforming themselves to ride on light waves, it tends to create a shock for a lot of these beings because it changes the magnetic properties that are in the air, that are in the earth. The magnetic properties that keep a balance of things happening on Earth, keep things held together. So when one of these energy beams or energy waves come in, literally, instantly throws off the magnetic forces, of which particularly birds and fish are very sensitive to, how they do a lot of their guidance and a lot of their memory, you could say, is on these waves of magnetics, throws them off, creates such an overwhelming trauma, it kills them. You're going to see more of it. It's not just going to be with birds and fish. And by the way, it's not going to happen all over the world at one point. These are beams that happen to come in at different times, different places. You're going to start seeing it with other species as well. And there's going to be those who start saying it's the end of the world, the apocalypse, that they're going to start blaming it on all sorts of conspiracies. But just for you to understand that it's appropriate. It's part of new energy coming in. Is it going to strike you? Is it going to throw you off? Probably not, because actually the human magnetic system and how the DNA relates to magnetics is actually not as sensitive as an animal's. However, that being said, your DNA is much more complex than what any scientist, what any researcher even knows about. Your DNA is very complex. It's blossoming right now like a flower, opening up to reveal parts of itself, parts of your encoding that have always been there, but have been closed down.
Celebrate, beloved ones, in this moment. For we, the Ascended Masters, your brothers and sisters, your eternal friends, we are here. We are walking your planet. And we will be here until the completion of this transition. So celebrate. Be not in doubt that the time of bondage is over. Breathe in your freedom. Deep breath. Just as the rose flowers, consciousness is flowering. It be time. Soul of eternity, it be time. Awaken and celebrate. Namaste. Deep breath.
So, in a sense, the timing is perfect because these new energy waves come in and they're not really going to affect the old parts of you or the old energy parts of you. They're actually going to stimulate and inspire the new parts or the unfolding parts of your DNA. That's where you can breathe it in. Instead of worrying about the fish and the chickens and the penguins and everything else, that's where you breathe it in. Instead of putting on some type of protective bodysuits or having to get crystals or jewelry or a trinket that somebody's selling you to resist or repel these waves, you just breathe it in. It's your energy. You created it. New energy, not vibrational, but expansional. It's here for you. 2011 is going to be a very intense year. We talked about it in our session from last week. Very intense. Things out of the ordinary coming up in your lives, pushing your buttons. It's going to be very intense, but yet familiar, because these are things that you've been going through. 2011, going into 2012, is going to be the best time ever for any of you. The best time ever to do something new. We've talked about it many times. There is more energy available to you now to do what you want to do in your life. More energy that's coming in. It's going to throw old systems off, but you've already gone through that. You've already experienced it. So now you can breathe in those potentials.